Hello guys, welcome back to my YouTube channel, and in today's tutorial we are going to learn how to cut and sew a vertical corset. Now if this is a video you're interested in, please keep on watching and don't forget to subscribe to my YouTube channel and also turn on your notification bell to be notified whenever we post a new video. Please don't also forget to like this video in order to recommend it to others. So for the drafting of this tutorial, I'll just go ahead basically and fold my pattern paper into two. Now, after folding my pattern paper into two, the next thing I'm just going to do firstly is to draft my basic body pattern. Now, I'll go ahead and draw a line that will be serving as my starting line and my shoulder line. This line is basically optional because you can actually choose to use the edge of your drafting paper. So from the shoulder line, I'll go ahead and come down by the bust point I'm using with, which is 10 inches. The underbust I'm making use of is 13 inches. And my waist length is 16 inches. But remember, this is a top, so I don't want it to actually stop at the waist of the client. So I'll just go ahead and extend it all the way to, I'll just add extra 2 inches to it, making it 18 inches. So the full length of this top is 18 inches. So I'll just go ahead and extend these lines. After extending my lines, the next thing I'm just going to go ahead and do now is to write it out so that we don't get confused on the line. So this is our bust point line, this is our under bust, this is our waist length, and this is the full length of the top. So from the shoulder line, remember we are drafting just the basic body. I'm just going to go ahead and divide my shoulder measurement into 2 inches, which is 8. So I'll go ahead and mark 8 inches over here. Now my armhole measurement divided by 2 is also 8. So I'll go ahead and mark down 8 inches and extend the lines too. So basically we are done with the basic body that will be needed. We don't actually need our neck measurement. So after that, I'm going to go ahead and impute my bust span measurement. Now the bust span is your nipple to nipple measurement divided by 2. Your nipple to nipple measurement, you divide it by 2, that's your bust span. So I'm just going to go ahead and mark the bust span all the way down to the full length of this top. So the bust span I'm working with is 8. 8 divided by 2 is 4 inches. So I'm just going to go ahead and mark 4 inches on the bust point, on the other bust line, on the waist line, and also on the full length of this top. You can even choose to extend it up above the bust point because we'll still be needing it. So I'll go ahead and extend this line. So after drawing in our bust span measurement, the next thing I'm going to do right now is to go ahead and measure 1 inch in and out on our under bust line. So on this under bust line, I'll just go ahead and take in 1 inch and also take out 1 inch on it. Now with this 1 inch, I'm just going to extend it all the way down to the full length of our top. So I'll also mark it on our waistline, 1 inch in and out, and also mark it on our full length. So I'll go ahead and connect the line. Now, after marking the 1 inch all the way down to the full length, the next thing we are going to do now is to measure the difference between our bust point line and our under bust line. So I'll go ahead and measure the difference. So here I have 3 inches. Now, from this 1 inch that we marked now, I'm going to place my tape on the bust point line at the tip, and I'll go ahead and measure the difference that we measured earlier, which is 3 inches. Now your own might be 4 inches depending on the difference between your bust point and your under bust line. So from here, I'm just going to go ahead and take these 3 inches all the way down to this bust point, starting from the 1 inch that we measured earlier. For this side, I'll also place my tape here, starting from this 1 inch that we have. I'm just going to go ahead and mark 3 inches all the way around. So after marking the 3 inches all the way around, this is what we have left. So this is what it is looking like. Now the next thing we are going to do now is to go ahead and determine our cleavage point. That's where you want your opening to start from. So for me, I'll be doing 8 inches. So from the shoulder line, I'll go ahead and mark 8 inches. I'll mark 8 inches. Then on this line that I marked 8 inches, I'll go ahead and from my folded drafting paper, I'll go in by half of an inch. Now this half of an inch, I'm going to extend it all the way down to the under bust line. After that, the next thing I'm going to do now is to use my curve ruler. This 1 inch that we gave earlier on our under bust line, I'm just going to place my curve ruler this way, making sure that the 1 inch line is connecting to the center line of our under bust. Just the way I placed my ruler, my curve ruler, I'm just going to go ahead and give it a curve this way. Now I'll also go ahead and replicate the same thing on the other side, making sure that the 1 inch is actually connecting to the bust point line that we have. So this is what we have. Now the next thing I'm going to do now is to go ahead and draw my cleavage point. So from this place that I got 8 inches, I'm just going to remember this top is an off shoulder. So I'm just going to go ahead and determine how I want my neck area to be. So I'll just go ahead and draw any shape of my choice. So this is actually optional. If you choose to go high, that means your off shoulder will not be too down, but if you choose to go down a little bit down, that means your off shoulder is going to be revealing. So I'll just go ahead and connect this all the way down into the armhole line that we have earlier. So you can go ahead and blend this until it looks good to you. So after that, the next thing I'm now going to do is to go ahead and connect this 1 inch that we have on our under bust line. I'll go ahead and connect it to this cleavage point with my curve ruler. Just watch the way I'm placing it. My curvy side is at the end of the 1 inch and the other side is at this tip. So I'm just going to go ahead and connect it. So after connecting it, this is what it is looking like. Now the next thing I'm going to do now is to go ahead and replicate it for this other side. But before we do that, I'm just going to go in on my armhole line by 1 inch, and it's constant for everyone. So I've gone ahead to mark the 1 inch. So I'll go ahead and replicate this, but for this one, the curve ruler we're placing on the 1 inch too, then on the on the 1 inch too that we have on our armhole. So I'm just going to go ahead and connect it. So basically this is what it is looking like, as you can see. So the next thing now I'm just going to go ahead and do is to extend this 1 inch, this bust span line that we had all the way down to the cleavage heel that we did earlier. So on this cleavage line, I'll just go ahead and go in and out by 0.75. Now the 0.75 is for bust tightening. That's what we are actually going to do now. So the 0.75 is for a lesser boobs. Now if your boob is a little bit bigger, you can actually choose to go in and out by 1 inch, but for the client I'll be doing 0.75 for her. So I'll go ahead and mark 0.75 on both sides in between the bust span measurement that we have. So I'm with my curve ruler too, I'm just going to go ahead and connect this bust point center that we had earlier all the way down to this 0.75 inch that we have on our cleavage point. So I'm just going to go ahead and connect it this way. Now after that, I'll go ahead and replicate the same thing for this side. I'll go ahead and connect this bust point line to this 0.75 inch too. Now after connecting it, this is what it is looking like. This is what it is looking like. So I think this is what it is looking like. Now the next thing I'm going to do now is to go ahead and clean out this 3 inches line that we had earlier from the distance of our bust point and our under bust. Now for our dart intake, I'm going to go ahead and divide the round bust measurement into 4. The round bust measurement I'm working with is 36 inches. 36 inches divided by 4 is 9 inches. So from this folded edge that we have from our paper, I'm just going to go ahead and mark 9 inches on our bust point line. Now from that place I marked 9 inches, I'll come down by 1 inch for our dart. After that, I'll join this 1 inch that I have earlier all the way down to the center line of this bust point. Just this way. Now this is it for the dart placement. Now after that too, I'll just go ahead now and impute my body measurement. Now remember that I've already imputed my round bust measurement, which is 9 inches. So I'll go ahead and add extra 2-inch allowance, stitching allowance. Now on the waistline, I'm working with waist 32. 32 divided by 4 is 8 inches. So from this folded edge, I'll also go ahead and mark 8 inches. Now remember that this 2-inch that we marked earlier is going to be leaving our sewing pattern. So I'll go ahead and replace the 2 inches back. This 2 inches is not sewing allowance yet. It is to replace this line. Now go ahead and mark the 2-inch allowance that we are making use of. Now looking at this, our waistline measurement is now looking bigger than our bust point measurement. So I'll just go ahead and use the waist measurement to draw all the way down to the length of this corset, just like you see me doing. So basically this is what our corset is looking like. For the closing of this dart, while closing the dart, we'll be closing it from the upper side and not from the under. So this is how we close the dart. You go ahead and pick up your bust span line this way. After picking up the bustman line, you go ahead and fold it to meet the dart line that we drew under, just this way. Now make sure that this center place is not being folded, just this line that we gave out the 1 inch. So this is how I'm going to go ahead and place the dart and close the dart. Now after closing this dart, I'll go ahead and use my masking tape to tape it all the way down. Now basically after closing up this dart, as you can see, this our underbust line is not aligning with the curve we drew earlier. So I'm just going to go ahead and use my curve ruler to join back the line into the 1 inch that we have earlier. So this is what I'll go ahead and do. So as you can see now, it is now aligning after closing the dart. So I'll just go ahead and cut this pattern paper out. Now watch the way I'm going to cut it out. Now cutting it out, as you can see, I'm just going to go ahead and take out this center part. This part is leaving and this part is leaving. So I'll just go ahead and cut it. Just watch closely. Just be careful. So this part is of no use. We are going to dispose this. So before we cut out the cup from this pattern, now we are going to label this. This is center 1. This is the one that will be attaching to the center of our dress, and this is the side, which is number 2. So we will now go ahead and cut out the cup. So this is what it will be looking like. Also label the sides you'll be joining. So this is where we'll be joining the 2 pieces of this. Then this other side is where we'll be joining to the main attachment of this fabric. So closing it up while sewing, this is actually what it would look like. We'll join these 2 pieces together, then it's going to give us our cup shape. Then we now join it back to the other side. So we'll go ahead and keep this at side. Now for the back piece, remember that our full length is 18 inches. So I'm just going to go ahead and mark 18 inches. Now after getting the full length of the front dress, we are going to minus the cleavage point that we used earlier, which is 8 inches. So minusing the 8 inches, I'm just going to go ahead and mark 18 inches all the way down to the back length of this dress. So after marking the full length, I'll go in and take 1 inch, which will be serving as our zipper allowance. 1 inch all the way down to the full length of the back. Body measurement that we extended all the way down to the front piece was our waist measurement plus 2 inches. So I'm just going to go ahead and do that over here. So the waist measurement was 8 inches plus extra 2 inches. So basically I'll just go ahead and do 3 inches instead. I'll go ahead and do 3 inches because 1 inch will be serving as our dart. So I'll go ahead and extend it all the way down. Now for the dart of the back piece, we are just going to go ahead and mark the bust span from this 1 inch zipper allowance that we have. So I'll go ahead and mark the bust span we are making use of, which is 4 inches. So I'll mark it all the way to the full length of our back piece. Then I'll draw a straight line. After that, on the full length of the dress, I'll go in and out on the bust span line by 1/2 inch. I'll go in and out by 1/2 inch. So I'll just go ahead and connect it just the way we do connect our normal dart, making sure that it's connecting to the tip of the bust span line all the way to the half length, and also this way. So after that, we are just going to cut this out. So this is back one, and this is back two. So after cutting it out, we'll just be joining the two pieces back together for our dart. So that is that for the back piece. So let's go over and cut our fabric. So for the fabric cutting, I'm going to be making use of this crepe material, this lemon crepe material, and it's 1 yard. So I'll be making use of 1 yard to draft this crop top that we've seen on my thumbnail. So I'm just going to go ahead and fold it out. So folding it into two, I'm just going to bring in those front pieces that we had earlier. So remember, for each paper we'll be cutting the material into two. I don't know if you understand. So I'm just going to go ahead and place this on my fabric. This is the side of the front piece. Now this center place that has this shape, it should actually be on a folded edge. It should not be splitted into two. So I'm just going to go ahead and place this part on a folded closed edge, just this way you are seeing, and I also go ahead and pin it down. Pinning this fabric, pinning the pieces pattern paper that we had to our fabric, the next thing I'm now going to do is to go ahead and add extra half inch to every joining part that I'll be doing. So for this front side, I'll add half of an inch at this cup area, and at the center side here is the allowance side, so I'll not be adding any inches to it. So I'll just add half of an inch here, half of an inch here. Then coming towards this part that I placed on the folded edge, I'll not be adding any allowance. So it's just this cup area too. I'll add half of an inch and also add half of an inch at this joining part. Now for the cup too, I'm just going to add half of an inch all the way round of the cup, and also half of an inch all the way around of this side cup too. Now for the back piece, I'll just go ahead and mark half of an inch at that area that will be joining. So I'll just add half of an inch just here and the upper part of it. So that's just what I'm going to do. I finished cutting out the pieces from the fabric, and this is what it is looking like. This is the back piece, this and this is the back piece, and as you can see, I added only half of an inch by the sides of that area where we'll be stitching. So this is the back piece. For the front piece, this is the center front, here is folded, so I just added half of an inch at the cup area, just like I said earlier, and this side that will be joining. So this is what it is looking like. Now the next thing now I'm going to do is to go ahead and apply stay on all this fabric. Now I'm going to attach stay at the wrong side of all this fabric. Now for the cup, I will attach stay to the wrong side of each pieces of the fabric, and also attach a wording to it. A wording is like a breast pad, the breast pad gum that is used. So I will still apply stay to it and apply wording to it, and I'll also go ahead and cut out the lining for this material.